right there, he pauses and he gives a little hint because he wants us to lean in. He wants his first century audience to lean in. He wants them to see, hey, those desires that we have, because you have the right to do anything, right? I mean, you could do anything. You could justify anything. Sure, you could do all that. But those desires that we have sometimes, if we're not careful, Paul says, they could be master over us. And you already have a master, is his point. Because remember, he's writing to Jesus' followers. So you already have a master. And he's way better than some of the things that we become mastered by. So he's like, it's way better. And then he gives a practical example. He says, you say food is for the stomach and the stomach for food, and God will destroy them both. The body, however, is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. And by his power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us also. Here's his point in this sequence right there, is he's equating food, the sin of gluttony, to a sexual sin. And he's making the comparison because they're both appetites. They're both desires. And they're both needs. You need food, right? And if you maybe need, so it's like it's a need, right? It might be a need. But it's a desire, and having a desire is not a problem, Paul says. And he just says you just can't be mastered by the desire. Because desires, have you ever noticed that desires just have a way of kind of controlling you? Desires have a way of adjusting your behavior, either for the good or for the bad. That if you have a desire and it's unchecked and you don't have guardrails in place, it's real easy to veer off track. That's what Paul's saying. He says, look, you say, food and all that other stuff. Here's the other part. They were both connected to pagan worship. And so he's like, look, I get it. We have desires.